Let's learn from this story together. Titled, Are You a Player? I saw a boy. He is a player. A player. Yes, I mean a player. His name is Rox. Let me explain the little I know about players before I continue. Players are those male or female but especially young men, boys, after adolescence, that gain a lot of comfort and joy in misleading, falsely directing or enchanting the hearts of ladies to either deceive the ladies to get to what they want, their targets, whatever it may be, or make the ladies believe they have a future together, mostly marriage. Then after reaching their satisfaction or getting what they want or after having their fill, they elope. Some even go to the extent of hating her. Then it becomes obvious what their intention was from the very beginning. A bounder, cad, womanizer, Romeo, rake, skirt chaser, lecher, for better knowledge on who these guys are, check for the meaning of those words. Now, let's continue. Rox is a player and he plays a lot of ladies. This boy I'm talking about didn't even have anything to do with those ladies immorally compared to the real players. He is just so good with words that he gives them the wrong impression that he is only a good friend of theirs, that he could marry them, keeping their hopes up. He is so good that none of the girls he plays ever meets each other. He tells himself he only wants to keep them close so he can have a pool of options to pick from whenever he is ready. I honestly don't know what he thinks when he does that, nor his endgame. So, on a very faithful day of his recompense, after playing one of the ladies as usual, he was on his way and went outside the city gates he was once inside. Run, run, run. He saw people moving towards him with great fear on their faces, and when they got closer to him he noticed they were all guys, males. As expected, it didn't take Rox so long before he got very scared too, that he turned back with the other guys towards the city gate without knowing what actually chased them. Surprising, isn't it? But it is quite normal because everyone make a run for it when they see a lot of people running towards them. It's the quickest anxiety response. YEEPA, or EIYAMIO, YEHHH, NOOOO, OMOOOO. They all shouted in tremendous fear when they got to the gate to get back into the city where it should be safe, but saw that the gate had already been shut. With Rox being so scared and knowing not what he could do, he noticed the other boys running into a building close to the gate. He followed them immediately. On entering the building, Rox wasn't able to find a room quickly, but he finally found one. He noticed the single room is so small, with a student bed covered with black leather. The place was built in a prison-like setting, with all the rooms lined up on a straight line and the door of the room having big holes just like prison doors. As he was trying to get relaxed in the room after getting so scared, questions started moving around his head. Where is this place? Hope this place is safe enough. But he got a little bit relaxed because of the thought of being safe. Finally, he saw someone he knew. A friend named Stones. But amidst all the fear going around, Stones looked a lot calmer, like he is used to coming into that prison-like building. Rox called him without hesitation to come in. Stones questioned Rox before entering, asking why. Still looking as though he wasn't scared. Rox told him the reason. Fear of what's coming, that he didn't honestly know what it actually was. So, Stones enters Rox's little room. Stones was just so calm that he had a cup that contained cassava flakes and water, taking it as he walked into Rox's little room. But Rox was still quite wary. I haven't talked about Stones, have I? No, I haven't. Rox knows Stone very well. Stones is a king among the players. He is better described as a lecher. His end game is always to cunningly and craftily get what he wants with ladies, which goes from him looking for a lady that can be so enchanted to cooking for him always, a lady that they flirt freely with each other, and finally a lady that can be so falsely mislead by thinking him to be lovely friend or as a husband material. At this point he trickily indulges them in sexual activities, knowing they would not be able to refuse it because they have been scandalously played and given to excessive sexual activity mentally with his manipulative communications or discussion with them. Stone has a lot of ladies like that. He is indeed a king among sinners, sorry players. So, they were in prison together, not locked up but went in for safety, and they didn't know what exactly they were looking for safety from. Rox was wary. Stones was not bothered, and they at least thought they were safe. Wake up boys. Wake up boys. Folks, you're in a prison cell. I wish I could tell them, but they were comfortable there being denied entrance back into the city with the thoughts of being safe. Rock just got denied entrance, but his friend Stones has gotten used to being denied a long time, that he is used to staying outside when he was supposed to be in the city. He already got comfortable outside the door. That is the portion of those that are players sinners. They get left out of things they should be entitled to because they are so focused on what they can get from the world's pleasure basket, forgetting that the people who turn their backs against God and cause pain to his creatures will be cast out of their portion of land, denied of their inheritance in God, and will then live in fear. Rocks was scared and shocked. Stones has gotten used to the fear, he doesn't get bothered about being in bondage. Rocks, though a little settled, finds it hard to relax in a place that looks so much like a prison. According to 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. KJV. But when we refuse to live following his rulings, law and instruction, we will be treated as slaves that do not have portion in the big city, but locked out of our inheritance, thereby having tribulations and fear without a cause. But according to Galatians 4 verses 31, so, brethren, we, who are born again, are not children of a slave woman, the natural, but of the free, the supernatural. AMP. As the saved children of Father, we are free to stay right in the inheritance the Father has given us, and have no reason to be rebellious or prodigal in nature by going outside the gate of our inheritance. We need to, as sons, obey and heeding to every instruction and correction of the Father, because slaves don't have portion in the full inheritance, they are only entitled to crumbs. Proverbs .13 verses 1, a wise son heeds to his father's instruction, but a mocker does not listen to rebuke. NIV. Those mockers are also slaves. They are entitled to nothing. Take a look at this full verses. According to Matthew 15 verse 22 to 28, a Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him, crying out, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is suffering terribly from demon possession. Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, send her away, for she keeps crying out after us. He answered, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. The woman came and knelt before him. Lord, help me, she said. He replied, it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to their dogs. Yes, Lord, she said, but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered, Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted. And her daughter was healed from that very hour. That's to tell you what crumbs of the inheritance can do. Even crumbs safes, but it doesn't release our full entitlement. Take a look as crumbs like this. Even when we are sinners, God loved us. We received his help and loves while we are sinners. Some people today might just be enjoying crumbs of their inheritance because of their lifestyle. Why not enjoy it all and enjoy the complete essence of the death of Christ on the cross? When we believe in and walk with Christ, both the Spirit of the Son and the Father abides in us, according to John 15 verse 26, when the Counselor comes, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Spirit of truth who goes out from the Father, he will testify about me. NIV. And if the Spirit of our perfect Father abides in you, as Matthew 5 verse 48 says, therefore you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. NKJV. You can't but be perfect. You just have to let him guide your steps, according to Proverbs 16 verse 9. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. NKJV. If it's been done ignorantly in case of this players and anyone that has a weakness that the flesh exploits, only trough being saved will you completely defeat the flesh. The weakness of the flesh has to be completely defeated, as written in 1 Peter 4 verse 1, for as much then as Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin. KJV. Back to the players, to those that enjoy misleading and wrongly enchanting the hearts of men and women. Stop it before you lose your place among those that will be safe in the city. There are ways to avoid being mistakenly or ignorantly a player. Firstly, always clearly state or define relationships you have with your neighbors so that your loving attitude won't be misread for a crush or something more delicate. Secondly, let your heart be open to God that he may guide your steps. Own your inheritance. Don't be left out of the city.